Welcome to the realm of magic and mystery, classic horror and sci-fi. You are now entering the House of the Unusual podcast with your hosts, Eddie and Joe. Welcome all you cool ghouls and friendly fiends to the House of the Unusual podcast. I'm your host, Joe Pavlansky. With me, as always, are my good buddies, Eddie Guevara, Chuck Caputo, and Cheri Caputo. Everybody, what's up?
All right. Hello.
How are you?
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody and everybody out there in podcast land. Thank you for joining us once again on whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Just some quick house cleaning here real quick. We're going to go through a few of our good buddies out there. So I've been watching stupidmagazine.com because they announced issue number 8 is going to be on sale very soon. So keep checking out on their webpage, and that's Stupid, spelled STOOPID, comicsmagazine.com. So we'll be waiting for number 8. It says it's coming soon. As soon as we know, you guys will know out there, and we'll update it on the forum as well. Also, guys, if you're a fan like me and Eddie and Chuck and Cheri of classic horror and sci-fi, we have Monster Bash coming up October 14th through the 16th, which I'm hoping, my good buddies Eddie and Chuck and Cheri will be able to meet me there for at least one of the days, and maybe we could do a live podcast straight from Monster Bash, man, Monster headquarters. That would be really
cool.
That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
So hopefully we could get that rolling. And guys, if you want more information on that, head over to monsterbashnews.com, and they'll have all the information for you on there. You could also go to creepyclassics.com, and that's where you could find a lot of old horror and sci-fi memorabilia. Guys, also, don't forget, we still have the Mastery Mystery Robot Model Contest going on.
Oh, wow.
Final date for entries is October 31st, 2022. And hey, the rules are simple. Head over to 1878press.com. Just click in the tab where it says books and more. You'll find the Mastery Mystery Robot Model plans. Purchase them there, get them shipped to you, and start putting them together. Because you have until October 31st, 2022 at 12 a.m. And guys, whoever wins this out there, and we have a great panel of trained monkeys that are going to, take a look at all of our entries and all that, and you can win your very own 7-foot Frankenstein monster poster, a value of over $140.
Wow.
So if you go on houseoftheunusual.com on our forum, I do have a Mastery Mystery Robot Model Contest thread, and you can find all the information and links right there, and a picture of the Frankenstein poster, and even one of the posters with Eddie sitting next to it. So if you're able to discern on which one is which, let us know on the forum site there. So don't forget, that's 1878press.com, 1878press.com. Just hit the shop tab up top. It'll say books and more. Click on it, and you'll see the Houdini Mastery Mystery Robot Model plans. So check those out. Also, mymoviemonsters.com, Scary Monsters, issue number 128. All Hail the Horror Host issue is available for pre-order, and it is a beautiful cover by Scott Jackson, and yours truly has a article in there as well. Also, be on the lookout for Castle of Frankenstein number 36 coming this fall, and it is available for pre-order on mymoviemonsters.com. So that's all we got for our house cleaning and some of our friends and all that. And if you would like to for us to advertise your website or something, you got anything cool, hit us up on houseoftheunusual.com on the forum site. You'll see where it says podcast chat. Hit us up on there. We'd definitely like to check out what you got going on. All right. So that's that. So nice. Chuck, Cheri, man, I want to hear all about this Florida trip. And, man, you guys got to see Robert the Haunted Doll.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Those pictures and videos you sent me were really creepy, man. Robert the Doll was one creepy dude, man. All due respect, Robert the Doll out there, but yeah, I wouldn't mess with him. So, guys, how was your trip?
Oh, man. Yes. You know what? For the listening audience, we spent about 6 days in the Florida Keys, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And we walked 8 miles a day, if you can imagine.
Holy moly.
and that heat.
That helped for all the good food we were eating.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I didn't,
oh my gosh,
if I didn't walk like that, somebody would be hitting me with the paddles. Clear, you know. But we had a blast. And Robert the Doll, just in case you did not know, he was given to a young man in the early 1900s, probably 1905, 1906, to Robert Eugene Otto. And the Ottos were a prominent family in Key West. And they lived in a gorgeous house, which is now a bed and breakfast. It's called the Artist House.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the young Eugene got Robert the Doll as a present. And shortly after he got the doll, supposedly people seen the doll going from room to room, like up in the windows when no one was home. He would change facial expressions.
Didn't he do things and then he would blame it on Robert the Doll?
Yeah. So whenever this spoiled kid would, like wreck his room, he would say, Robert did it. Robert. So he would blame the doll. So I think
Robert.
I think
sounds legit.
So I think that's how that legend started.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was on my bucket list for about 20 years to go see this thing. He's in the East Fort Martello Museum.
That's by the airport, Key West Airport.
It's out by the Key West Airport. Really cool. And I do have a video on there. If you go to Cheri Caputo on YouTube.
We have 3 videos, actually, we made.
Yeah, we did that one. And then we went to the cemetery, the Key West Cemetery.
That is so cool.
Yeah, this is, it's all above ground because of the water table down there is so high. So all the graves are above ground, similar to Narlands. And it's really cool. So we visited the actual grave of the owner of Robert, and we did a little thing there, and then we also did something in the museum about Carl von Kossel. If you're not familiar with this guy, read this. I found out about him about 17 years ago. I saw a documentary. It's supposed to be a love story. It was so gruesome that I couldn't even sleep when I saw this. This guy, Carl von Kossel, back in the 20s. In Key West, he was a radiologist, and tuberculosis was rampant back then. And back in those days, it would actually kill you, as you know. So a young Cuban girl who was very, very pretty girl, only about 21, 22 years old, he fell in love with her. She had TB, and then she did eventually die. And he bought a mausoleum for her and everything, and he stole her body.
Her parents were poor, and he offered to put her in a mausoleum.
Yeah.
He went there for 2 years and visited her every day.
Yeah, visited her every night.
Did he put a telephone or something?
Yeah, he had some kind of a phone in there. I mean, he was something, this guy. But anyway, he took her body. He stole her body.
He heard her tell him to get me out of this tomb.
Yeah.
So he thought, okay, well, I'll dig you up and I'll take you out. And guess what he did? Go ahead.
So, yeah, he put fake eyeballs in where her sockets were. He waxed over her skin,
made her like a person again.
Yeah, made a wig for her. It was gruesome, man. So they finally caught him after 7 years, and he pretty much slapped him on the wrist. I mean, they went very easy on them because they said it was a love story. I don't know what kind of love story that is.
Kind of crazy.
If you go onto Wikipedia for anybody out there, and it's the name is Carl. And the way the last name is spelled is Tanzler.
That's correct, Tanzler. Yeah, that's his real name from Germany.
That's correct.
And he changed it over here to von Kossel.
Yeah, and if you go on Wikipedia, there's a photo of the corpse of Marina. Was it Maria Elena Malargo de Hoyos?
Yeah,
encased in wax and plaster. And whatever he did, it doesn't even look like a human being anymore. It looks like Robert the Doll's, female companion or something.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
Wow, it is such a gruesome story.
Spooky.
Yeah, it's very strange. Hey, but getting back to Robert the Doll, I like to do some type of a magic trick at the end of the video, and I couldn't really get anything on the plane. I didn't want to get things confiscated. So I did have a little device to make something float. So I did float a $20 bill.
That was cute.
Next to Robert.
Robert liked it.
Yeah, Robert.
He did.
Cheri got stopped by TSA twice. Tell them about that, Cheri.
About the.
What did you do?
Well, they took my suntan lotion. I guess it was bigger. It was liquid. It was the kind of cream. And then Pittsburgh let me go through with my hair stuff. But Key West, coming home, they confiscated it. It was my hair gel stuff. They said it was too big, but I don't know.
You know what? Every time I turn around,
I was getting arrested.
They were poking through It was funny. Oh my goodness.
Well, what are you going to do? I should know better. I'll know better next time.
But there was a few other things we did down there. We went on a ghost tour, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, we could come back if someone else wants to interject and.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. We want to hear what the
okay.
what's going on down there, man. This is interesting.
Oh, okay.
He's been to Florida, so.
Yeah, the one thing that we really loved was Ernest Hemingway's house.
Oh, that was neat.
That was a museum, and we did the tour, and there were so many interesting things about him that honestly I didn't know, and you didn't know about, right?
No, not all that.
No, not everything. They were saying how he kept 70 cats there.
Oh, wow. So he was the original cat lady.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And they still are allowed 50 cats. 50 they keep like 49 there. They're all descendants of his original cats.
Oh, wow.
And they have that hereditary gene that causes them to have that extra toe that not all of the cats have it, but a majority of them do. And they're the sweetest cats.
Oh,
you're not allowed to pick them up, but they come up and you're allowed to pet them, and they're very sweet. They look like tabby cats. And what's that thing called? The extra toe.
I think it's polydactyl, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe something like that. Yeah. Yes. And it went through about his whole life and about his he did African safaris. He was a semi-pro boxer.
Yeah.
He had a boxing ring in his backyard, and it was amazing. Here, I'll let you tell some more stuff.
Yeah, you know what, the family they were plagued with depression. You know what? Because, like, as you know, he
mental illness.
Yeah, mental illness. He committed suicide in 1961, I believe. Yeah. I think his father committed suicide, and his granddaughter, Margot Hemingway.
That was his niece.
Was his niece?
That's what they said.
Oh, it was
in
his
the
niece.
Museum. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she committed suicide. Yeah, there's like a gene that's unfortunate in the family.
Yeah, he had several wives. He said one cat led to another, and the tour guide said, yeah, he felt that way about wives too. Because the one wife she introduced him to her best friend. Well, guess what? He kind of liked the best friend, and she liked him.
So like, get a new cat, get a new wife, get a new cat, get a new wife.
Yeah. And then towards the end of his life, they showed us that he had like a bungalow separate from the house. It was like you go up these steps, and it was a huge room, and it still had his typewriter and all his furniture.
It was really cool.
Yeah, all authentic and original, kept perfect there. And that's when he would go when he had his peak time, when he did Farewell to Arms and all the different novels that he pumped out. He would go up, Old Man and the Sea, all those. He would go up at 6 a.m. and he would go all day until he felt he did a decent day's work. And then that was cool to see that. And what else did you want to say? Oh, I wanted to tell them too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Towards the end of his life, when he was older, and with this depression, they decided to do ECT or those shock treatments on him. I don't know how many they did on him. Would they say 30?
About 30, I think.
Yeah, and it started destroying his brain. And I think that's what got him depressed, because he couldn't think straight. And then he couldn't write right. So then I think that's what led to his demise, where he just said, forget it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I tell you what, I can't think right, but you can't.
You got to get back to God, honey. Don't do anything crazy.
Now, have you guys read anything by Hemingway? I have.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever have, but have you guys ever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The Old Man in the Sea is an excellent novel.
It's about a Cuban gentleman, fisherman.
Yeah, a fisherman from Cuba.
In fact, we read that in high school, and you read the Grapes of Wrath.
Well, that was by Steinbeck.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that other one?
The Snows of Kilimanjaro. I mean, there's a bunch of short stories that but he was a very good writer. But there's a street down there, just in case anybody does go, or if you know about it, it's called Duval Street. It's very similar to Bourbon Street. Down in Louisiana. That's where all this stuff happens. It's like a really cool street. They have street performers. They have every kind of restaurant, every kind of
restaurant, live music everywhere. Yeah, everyone had live music.
Yeah, it was really cool. So that's why we got 8 miles a day, because we walked up and down that street, up and down all night.
And they have cigar factories everywhere. He would buy Cuban
cigars. Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, he was having fun. He would smoke it all the way up and down the street. And then there was these really beautiful art galleries. We took a lot of tours and went in there and saw some different art that was really beautiful, gorgeous.
Yeah. One of the things was pretty funny, guys, was we did go snorkeling,
Oh.
and I can't swim, I never learned how to swim. I just can't do it. And so anyway, I was kind of scared. And so Cheri booked it, and then she called back and said, water.
Oh.
So they said they drive you out on a catamaran. They take you out 20 feet into the ocean.
The ocean's 20 feet deep there.
Yeah, the ocean's 20
by
feet
the coral.
deep. Yeah, by the coral. And I'm thinking, oh, no. So once we're on this little boat here, the woman says, does anybody have a problem? I said, yeah, I can't swim. And so she said, well, we're going to give you a life vest because it's mandatory anyway.
We all wore life vests, yeah. And then they gave him.
I mean, these are puny little life vests. It's like flat. It doesn't really look like.
You can blow them up a little bit.
So so she said, if you want to blow them up, there's a hose there. So I was going.
But you couldn't blow it up to the fact where it would be if it was too full of air, then it would just throw you back on your back.
Right.
It would be like in survivor mode.
Mode,
she said you can only blow it up just a little bit. But then they ended up giving him, he said, well, he could use a noodle, one of those noodles that you could swim with. So he used 2 noodles. He was a double noodle guy.
Nice.
They went right under his vest and under his arms, and he was floating like a champ.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
He did good.
She was the one who wanted to do this, and she was scared. She was up by the ropes the whole time.
When I saw jellyfish, and then I didn't go out as far as he did. I just couldn't do it. I was anticipating and thinking we were going to go somewhere like, I guess they have like in the Bahamas or Caribbean, where they have the real blue water where you could see through it.
And it's shallow.
Where you can stand. Well, I'm a good swimmer and I like to swim. I go down to the Y, but there's always like a rope on my one side, the wall on the other side. I'm doing laps. Here, if you're, I don't know, 20 feet, that's pretty darn deep, especially if I would have got stung. I don't know, by a jellyfish. So I don't know. Maybe next time I'll do a better job of that here.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun. And then we went on a ghost tour. It was an open trolley. It took you all through.
Oh yeah, she was awesome. Our tour guide. She was very good.
Yeah, the tour guide was really cool and everything. So hey, it was good, man. I would recommend going down there. We would love to go back. It's just very humid. Humid.
Yeah.
Not my type of weather at all. I don't even like the dry heat. I'm loving this fall weather that we're starting to get here, which I'm sure you guys are starting to hit it, and I'm sure it's coming Eddie's way as well. But I'm liking this weather when it's cloudy.
Absolutely.
Rain. There's a nice little breeze.
Love it.
Fall weather. That's what I'm talking about. So that sounds like you guys had a lot of fun down there, and I really enjoyed seeing the photos and videos. And if you guys want, if you can, on the forum site, if you want to put one of the videos of Robert the Haunted Doll, so our forum perusers can check it out, and even throw a link to your guys' YouTube page on there where they can find the rest of the stuff. So that would be awesome. Really cool if you're able to do that. So we're going to turn it over to Eddie at House of the Unusual Proper and see what's been new with him. So what's up, Eddie? What's new?
All right, a lot of stuff in new. In fact, I've been working around the clock, trying to finish the storage so I can start doing my broadcasts of Eddie's Deep Dives. And I'm pretty close to finishing, probably another week or two. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is I just got an email right now, and it says in the email, this email is from Robert the Doll. A guy with a funny hairdo next to me, and he took a picture without my permission. Beware.
That was me.
I don't know what that means. And then the other one is, I don't know if you guys are aware that Hemingway also had a house in Cuba, and I know my brother went down there. And they had the same thing where I think they had his typewriter. It's kind of reflected what you just said right now concerning that house. And the third thing is, come on, Chuck. Warren, I saw a picture from an aerial photo they took of Key West, I think last week sometime. And they show a guy with a big round tire around his thing while he was swimming. And has was that you?
Probably, yeah.
Hey, Eddie, the house down in Cuba for Hemingway, did he have cats there as well?
That I don't know about that. Now that you mentioned that, I think I did see that in some of the photos my brother showed me. But it sounds like it's like they just duplicated both scenes. Because I know he spent a lot of time in Cuba. And I don't recall, to be honest with you, what I think I read in school the same book you talked about, The Old Man and the Sea.
Yes.
I think it was required in English class, but I don't remember. I've read a lot of books, I think, that might have been his. I don't remember now exactly what it was, but other than that, what I'll tell you, getting back to what I was saying about Eddie's deep dives, I finally got my 2 flags, the 2 pirate flags that they're the only ones in the world ever done, duplicated, and I'm very excited. They look phenomenal, and I'm trying to figure out how to display that. But going forward, the ship's wheel that I have from 1895, I have my son's father-in-law making me a stand for it. So he's going to make kind of like, if you think about it, it's going to be phenomenal. Like a wooden plank type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be like a raft, and then the wheel's going to be there. And then I'm going to take that I have 1 or 2 of those life-size skeletons, and I'm going to dress them and put them to that wheel, man. It'll be like a pirate at the helms. I'm really excited. I'm working on a really nice display. The only thing is inventing space. The space problem was really hurting me. But Joe, that's actually what I'm up to right now.
Wow.
That sounds good. I think we all of us collectors out there, we all have that issue, running out of space. So that's always been mine. I try to sell stuff, and then I'm like, oh, I got more space. Let me buy some more stuff. And
it's terrible.
It's just like a vicious cycle, man. But yeah.
It's a sickness.
It's a disease that we all love.
It is. You know what was kind of interesting is, as I was putting my thing, I have a bunch of trunks, right? And I have I don't know, like 6, 7 trunks. And so I got to get one on top of each other. And each trunk is about 40, 50 pounds. One of them was like a big trunk that my brother kept his drums in, and he gave it to me. So I filled it with robots and toys, right? So the thing is very heavy, and I'm trying to get it a little bit past 6 feet tall on top of the filing cabinet to put it on top of another trunk. So the way I did that is I wedged between 2 filing cabinets a ladder, and then I grabbed the trunk with the front, and I lift it up, and then I start climbing backwards on the ladder, knowing that if I'm going to fall either way, the trunk is going to stop my fall forward. Oh, I got the ladder in the back, and I hoisted it up there, and it was like, oh my God. When I finally got it up there, the back did hurt afterwards. But when I finally got it up there, I looked, and it reminded me of Abercrombie and Fitch, the store. It had those Indiana Jones displays and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that looks cool. And then the best part is 2 3 days ago, my wife calls me up from Marshall's, and she says, hey, did you see this? She goes, what's the black pearl? Now, you guys are going to laugh at this because I'm a big fan of pirates and stuff, and I probably read it at one time. I forgot, but I thought it was a Johnny Depp Pirate of the Caribbean ship, And I said to her, get it, and she goes, it's $199. I said, I don't care, get it. I saw the picture. I go, it's beautiful. You got to get it for me, right? So she gives it to me as my birthday gift, which she was supposed to give me back in August. And when I look at the ship, it's actually Blackbeard's. Blackbeard used the black pearl, and that's the ship he was on. And I didn't know it was an actual real ship.
Wow.
It's kind of funny, like in Pirates of the Caribbean, where they say the black pearl's not a real ship. Wow. Well, it actually is.
Huh, that's neat.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Joe?
I'm here. I was grabbing something. I'm up in my comics room, and I'm grabbing something here, and Eddie had texted me yesterday, said he wanted to talk about some old Sears catalogs and all that. So I thought that'd be a really cool topic, to get into a lot of these old catalogs and everything. And I know Eddie knows a lot about them, but guys, I'm feeling, it must be this time of the year. I'm feeling very, very generous, and I want to buy each of you's something from a 1940 Sears fall winter catalog. But we're going to play a little game here, so you don't get to pick just anything. What you're going to do is you are going to pick from, we're going to go from page 4 to 1,000, and you're going to give me a page number, and I'm going to tell you what's on that page, and whatever's on that page is the gift that you are going to receive.
All right.
So we're going to start off with Cheri. We're going to go ladies first. Cheri, numbers 4 through 1,000.
89.
89. Let's see what Cheri is going to get out of the generosity of my good heart here.
Maybe.
Oh, Joe.
What is Cheri going to get? It looks like
a robot.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
The robot plans.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Take a drink.
Yeah, take a drink. All right, I'm trying to get it here. All right, and Cheri, she is going to get a Sanfordized Indestructo work clothes. So it looks like it is a denim work clothes, like a pant. I don't know, a one-piece pantsuit type thing. But it is denim, and it has a little belt across it, and it's very fashionable for 1940. So if you would like to go work in the steel mill or something, and
is it made of asbestos?
To work on.
Is it made of asbestos?
It's made of asbestos, and it comes in. Let's see, what colors do we get here?
Yeah.
Medium blue. So you get a medium blue denim work. Some work clothes there, Cheri, and it's only going to cost me. Where are we at here? $1.15.
Wow, look at that!
Wow,
amazing.
That's a bargain, ain't it? I'm telling you, man. That is a bargain. All right, next up. So Cheri got her work clothes. Chuck Caputo. What are we getting today?
Page 767.
Wow.
767. All right, let me find here.
As you look up the page, it's kind of funny because I came across a thing really quick called Grand Illusions, which is a show. A lot of people don't realize that he's very popular. It's an older guy in England, and he reviews toys and novelties and magic tricks, and it's called Grand Illusions. One of his videos has 144 million views, so the guy's pretty popular. I came across a coffin bank that I never seen or had, and I got one on eBay last week, and it's arriving today. I'm so excited to get it. And the mailman's still not here, man.
All right, Chuck, you get a decorator styled curtain.
Wow.
If you get to choose between spinning wheels, flocked flowers, woven figures, pussy willow dots, or pointed de spirit. So which would you like, Chuck?
The pussy willow dots, I guess. Wow.
There you go. Pussy willow dots, decorated style curtains. So you get some curtains, and it's only 32 cents a yard. So quite a deal right there. So
that's
very nice.
All right.
You get some nice curtains for the house there.
Yeah, maybe I can make some overalls, and I could go over to Cheri, and we could do some yard work, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. All right, Eddie Guevara, what page number do you have?
I'm going to pick page 567.
567. All right, let's see here. Almost there. 567. Where are we at? We got a lot of different things on here. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So, Eddie, pick numbers 1 through 23.
17.
17. Let's see.
That's a jackpot.
19, 18, 17. All right, Eddie, you get Touch Up Liquid Coloring. Blends gray hair into a natural color. And liquid coloring complete with applicator.
Wow.
You can auburn, medium, brown, black, light brown, dark brown, chestnut brown, henna, blonde, and it comes in a 4-ounce bottle. So what color would you like?
I'll take a black, man.
You're going to go with black. It's only 49 cents a bottle for your Touch Up liquid coloring.
Wow.
You know, of all the people, I got the best one. At least it's
oh, man.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with that curtain rod.
There you go. Chuck got some curtains, and Cheri got some denim work pantsuits. And I'm going to pick a number here, and let's see what I get. I'm going to go with Chuck, give me one number, 1 through 9.
6.
6. All right, Cheri, one number, 1 through 9.
7.
All right, we got 6, 7. Eddie, one number, 1 through 9.
Give you 8.
8. All right, so my page number is 678.
678.
678. So let's see where we're at. 678. Uh-oh, I think I passed it up here.
Are you looking at a real catalog or a reprint?
I am looking at a reprint online here. Uh-oh, what is this?
Ooh, what'd you get?
Uh-oh, I don't know if I want to say.
The bloomers.
we want to hear it, Joe.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to see what even is this. Okay, so it is. I get the let's see. I get braid broadcloth in 3 grades. I could either choose between Sanford Shrunk, which is the best, it says, sophomore broadcloth, or Sears Bargain Special, or rich lustered Sanford broadcloth. So I get I can pick some cloth, I guess, 9 cents a yard.
Wow.
Well, that's not bad, right? I could pick between orchard, white, light yellow,
Joe.
pink, tan, medium, and rose. I think I'm going to go at rose.
Well, no, Joe, take white because you can make it into a ghost.
Oh, that I can. Or I can.
See?
I could use rose and it could be a bloody ghost.
Yeah.
Just add some glue to it, some Elmer's.
Yeah.
I like this Christmas shopping. I love it.
Yeah, that's great. I tell you what, that hair dye, from the 40s or the 30s, whatever. Can you imagine how harsh that probably was? You're probably
it probably burns your skull.
Yeah, you burn your hair right off and you'd be blind.
Yeah.
It would color. Imagine you add it and hair falls right off.
no eyebrows or anything.
It says, you put it on your dog's hair. When the dog's hair falls off, then you glue that to your hair with the applicator. So
there you go.
That's how you just have to match up the hair and make sure it's good. But I wanted to do this with I have a few old real catalog Sears and J.C. Penney's, but I didn't have time to grab them before we started. So luckily, if you just type in Sears and whatever year, usually they're all on archive.org.
I have a question for you, Joe. Were you around when you were little? Did they have the Spiegel catalog?
Oh, those were cool.
I don't remember Spiegel. The only ones that I remember us really getting were J.C. Penney's catalogs around.
That was for the wealthy people. We bought from Spiegel's.
Yeah, that's right.
My mother bought me a leisure suit when I was 13. I wore that thing to school. Everybody laughed at me. It was ridiculous.
What a lot of people, Joe, so you understand a little bit more. Spiegel is an equivalent of Johnson Smith.
Yeah.
But to say it better, an expensive Johnson Smith. How's that sound? You know what I mean?
That's about right. Right.
It'll be like a Sears mixed with a Johnson Smith in it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of Spiegel's, but Eddie, you're the expert on all these catalogs, man. Give us a rundown of them.
Well, see, the Spiegel catalog was usually oversized. It was like 13 inches by 11 inches, so it was a really big color magazine, and they were very well done. In fact, all the pages were high glossy.
Yeah,
wow.
They were
And
nice.
inside, when you went to the toy section, you had a lot of like the novelty stuff. Like you could probably find a modern day 7-foot Polaris sub on that type of catalog.
Whoa.
My favorite thing in that catalog used to be the CB radios.
For
They had a lot of. Remember those, Chuck?
Oh yeah, they were popular. Those base station home CB things.
Yeah.
They were great.
And our parents never got us them. I mean, CB radio back then was like $40, $50, so it's hard to get them to buy you one.
Yeah.
So before they bought me a 23 channel. I think the brand was called Prominent. Believe it or not, I still own today.
Yeah.
That the CB radio really wanted. It looked like an old-fashioned desktop radio. It was like a square white thing, and it had 23 channels.
Yep, 23
and it would
channels.
come. You remember that? It was
like
a
absolutely.
receiver.
I wish they would have bought me that instead of the leisure suit.
Oh, but Spiegel was phenomenal. They sold a lot. If you ever, you know what, Joe? I'm gonna look. I have a few. Once I come across one, I'm gonna send it to you. Because you will appreciate Spiegel.
They were great. Yeah, they were reasonable. The prices were reasonable, and yeah, they were fantastic.
Am I able to still order out of Spiegel catalog?
Oh yeah, why not? Of course.
I think they were out of Chicago, the main headquarters, wasn't it, Eddie? I believe it was Chicago.
You're right. They were out of Chicago, but it was very close to like a Sears. They were thick. They were sometimes 200-300 pages.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're phenomenal catalogs. They offer a lot of things, and I mean, JCPenney was kind of like a Spiegel catalog, but JCPenney was more towards clothing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that JCPenney, which, this blows me away. I don't understand how things have changed. But Sears and JCPenney, I think over 20 or 30% of their business came from their catalog.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you would go to the catalog department, you order, and then there was Service Merchandise, was another company that appeared in the early 80s.
Oh, I remember them. Yep.
They kind of try to imitate the catalog department store. You went inside and you placed an order of the catalog and you picked up. But I guess Amazon killed most of those mail order firms.
I'll tell you, Sears had quality stuff. Sears had good stuff. I mean, it was
good tools.
Very good tools as craftsmen. They had good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is you could buy guns for like $250.
Yeah.
And one thing about Sears, though, a lot of people don't realize the first company to ever do mail order, the granddaddy is Montgomery Ward. Now, they're still in business today. At one time, it was Montgomery Ward, Sears, and then the famous Johnson Smith catalog appeared in 1912. And of course, that became a household name. And one of the reasons Johnson Smith survived is during the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
I think they weren't out of I think they were out of Chicago, Illinois first, and then they went to Racine, Wisconsin or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we remember the story, what Craig Tarbeck said in one of our shows, they were going out of business. He was going to go bankrupt or something, but he said to the guy, because he couldn't afford the 1939 catalog, and 1929 catalog. So he asked them to give him credit, and I think he did. And within a year or two, he paid off the whole thing.
He paid off the debt. Hey, out here in Pittsburgh, one of the first magic gigs I got was about 1985, maybe 1984, and it was for 3 major stores: Sears, JCPenney's, and Kaufman's. We had a store chain out here called Kaufman's in Pittsburgh. And there was a kiosk in each of the stores that sold like different types of spooky things for like Halloween, like costumes and stuff like that. And they hired me in each store to walk around doing close-up magic and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it was by a company called National Theme Productions. That was about 1985. So it was really cool. I mean, so
my God, Chuck, you just brought memories back, man.
Really?
You're right. Yeah, Sears used to have they would rent like in the clothing department.
Yeah, exactly.
Entire table.
Exactly.
Not a table, like a big display case was about 15 feet long, and they filled it with magic and novelties. And yeah.
I tell you what, I was the guy doing close-up magic, walking around, and wow. It was really, really cool. That was awesome.
I never saw you there.
Well, I was in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, but not to change the subject, Joe. The one thing that I did want to bring up, we were thinking about this, my wife and I here. You had mentioned, I guess, about 2 podcasts ago.
Yeah, I was just going to say
what our favorite Twilight Zones were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's dig into that real quick, and then we'll come back to the catalogs. But yeah, what's going on with the Twilight Zone? What'd you guys watch?
Well, I wanted to tell you, when I was on the plane, I was thinking of you, and I said I can't wait to tell Joe and Eddie about one of my favorite is when they're on the plane. And it was William Shatner, and he saw that monster,
a gremlin or something.
Was it on the wing? And it was storming out there. But of course, it was broad daylight, but that just brought memories of that. That was one of my favorite.
Yeah, that's probably not the best time to bring up that episode when you're actually on the plane.
Yeah,
it would be funny. It would be such a mean prank. But if you're the one in charge of the movies or whatever, and you play that episode while you're on the plane just to see people's reactions.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And another one I like, and we both like, is that one called
Nick of Time.
Right.
It was another Shatner one where he was in the diner, and so he was obsessed with the little fortune teller bobblehead, the little thing where he put a penny in. That was a cool one.
Do you guys remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was a very good one.
I tried to purchase one of those Nick and Time things, and they came out. I don't know, Joe. I don't know if you're aware. They came out about a couple of years ago. a full size model was selling for like $300-$400.
Yeah.
Now going for like $4,000. And I said, let me try to get one. But then when the guy that I bought it from, he was $137. When I bought it from, I was waiting. A month goes by, and then I go, I thought you had one left. And this was just a tin copy of it, like it wouldn't do anything.
Oh,
and then the guy's like, oh, I'm going to make it now. And I'm like, forget it. I'm not going to wait 2 months for that. So he kind of made me think, and I asked for the money back.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, my all-time favorite, I mean, I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan. My all-time favorite is Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up? That was the diner where there was where there's one extra person somehow got on that bus. And the old guy was from Venus, and the guy behind the counter had a third eye. He was from Mars, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
That was creepy.
Well, I actually have 3 that are my favorites, and I was trying to pick, which one I like the best, but I couldn't. It's like with the Twilight Zone, I could say, every episode I love, but there's 3 that I always watch, at least once a year, and we'll start with the first one, no particular order, but just this is how I brought it up on my computer just to remember so I could get the season and the episode for everybody. But the first one, and I watch this every Christmas, is The Night of the Meek.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And it's from season 2, episode 11. And
Art,
it is what's that?
That's Art Carney in there, right?
Yes. Yeah. Art Carney. And he plays the main character, which is the Santa Claus character. But this one, it aired December 23rd, 1960, and it is it's one of I like the Twilight Zones that really make you kind of think and have a nice story with it. And this one, it'll make you think. It'll bring you back to that age of wonderment when you were a child, and
absolutely
these things were absolutely possible in your mind, and you'll think that they are possible again. At the right moments if you step into that Twilight Zone, man. So, yeah, if anybody out there hasn't seen it or hasn't visited in a while, it's the Night of the Meek. And then the next one that I really like, and this is probably one of my, if I had to pick one, this is probably my all-time favorite one, just because it deals with books, and I'm a huge book fan.
I think I know, guys.
Oh, I know this one.
Everyone should know this one. Time Enough at Last.
I love that one.
Love that one. Yep, that's a good one.
Yep. This one is from season 1. It's episode 8, and it aired November 20th, 1959. And who is this star, guys? Who's the main
Penguin?
Burgess Meredith. Yep.
The Penguin.
Yeah. I know him as a Rockies trainer.
You're gonna eat lightning and crack thunder.
This is one of my. I have to say, this is up there with one of my favorites in all time of any kind of TV show episode.
That's a real good one.
Boy, did he get the shaft at the end of this? He's a meek little guy. He just wants to read. This is This is training Rocky, so he just wants to read. He's not in the training mode yet. But yeah, he gets screwed at the end, man. It's like, oh, you got to be kidding.
Yeah, he had a terrible wife. That's all the guy wanted to do was read.
Yeah.
Why doesn't nobody compare him to the Penguin?
Yeah, or the Penguin, man, from the Batman show. Yeah.
That's a good one, Joe. I agree with you, Joe.
Now here's my third one, and this is a very obscure episode that not many people are aware of, but I guarantee you, if you watch this, you'll get that little lump in your throat, and you may even shed a little tear or something, because it is kind of a tear jerker, not for a sad reason, but it makes you more kind of look at humanity in a different way, and maybe how we should be looking at life. But this one is called The Hunt, and it is season 3, episode 19, and it aired January 26, 1962. Are any of you guys familiar with this episode, The Hunt?
Is that the guy that's being hunted or something like that, and it's supposed to be like some type of werewolf or something?
No, not even close. So this guy, he's an old mountain man, and he has a coon hunting dog named Rip, and
I do remember them.
It deals with him and his dog, and I don't want to if I give away any more, it'll ruin the episode. Okay. But it's, man, this is up there too with it. And I'm telling you, it's a Cheri, it's a tearjerker, man.
Yeah, you are right, Joe. That's an obscure one. Not many people know about.
I saw that a long time, but I forgot totally what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen this in a while or never seen it, I'm telling you, this is one, because it'll make you think about, the humans and humanity as a whole, and our relationship with other humans and animals, and it is. Okay. I'm telling you, man, it'll give you that lump in your throat, man, and it'll make you think.
How about you, Eddie? What's
you know what? I got to admit, I was going to say the same one that Joe, he kind of jumped me on that one. The Meredith one.
Yeah.
With the books, but one was also the one you mentioned, The Nick of Time. Yep. And then the other one, the other two favorite mines, one is the one with Will Robinson, whatever his name is, Bill Money, where he's like a bad little kid. He says, "Don't behave."
Oh,
he turns into a jack.
I love that one. That's a good one.
Yeah,
he was the monster.
Yeah, he was the monster in the thing. And then there was two others, and one I'm surprised none of you guys brought it up. But remember the one that there's a lady in the hospital, and everybody's wearing a mask, and they're trying to fix her that she had an accident or something. Then
that's cool.
Yeah, we like that one. The pig doctor.
The pig faces. But. And there's another two that I can think of. The one that the guy's trying to get out of this big tall wall, and they're trying to form a human chain.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah,
and
it's supposed to be like a barrel of monkeys or something. The guys.
Yeah, they were dolls actually.
Well, the ballerina. And
the ballerina, the clown.
Yeah,
that was neat.
My favorite, one of my favorites. Next stop is Willoughby.
That was
next stop is Willoughby.
Yeah, that was cool.
You remember that one, Joe?
Absolutely.
I remember the name, but what was it about?
That's the one. There's a guy in a train, and every time, his wife is giving him problems. He has a problem everywhere, right? So when he gets on the train, he falls asleep, and then in the train, it goes back, like the train goes back to, I don't know, back to the, what do you call this guy? Oh my gosh. Back to the time of John, the writer, Mark Twain.
Right.
Like Huckleberry Finn's time.
Right.
And he's all this old-fashioned West with a really nice. It's called Willoughby, and he wants to get up, but he doesn't. So then, when he finally gets off the train, because one day he just had enough, and he gets off in that stop. Then when they're the train leaves, they say, "We don't know what happened to this guy. He just walked off the bridge or whatever." And then it was called Willoughby Funeral Home. You know?
Yeah. It was that was
cool.
Know
that one.
Yeah, definitely. But you know what? Getting back to the Nick of Time there, that's classic Shatner there. The wife goes, "What are we going to do, honey? Are we going to stay at this diner all day?" He goes, "I don't know." It's that classic Shatner. I don't know.
That's when we tried iced coffee because they were drinking iced coffee. Remember that?
Yeah, it was about 20 years ago.
Dunkin' Donuts, we started drinking iced coffee.
Yeah.
I purchased an original photograph of that where Shatner is with the machine on the thing. I have an actual photograph of that era.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's cool.
Cool.
That is cool. I'm going to make copies for you guys. Send them over, man.
Nice.
Great. Hey, if somebody out there, if you want to mention your favorite Twilight Zone, put it on the forum. We'll be glad to hear it. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. We have it under I believe it's under podcast. It might be under podcast chat or Cryptic Classics. I'll have to look on which one it is. I'm going to check here real quick, but I do have a because when we did that episode about it, a thread under one of them on there for the Twilight Zone. I'm going to check right now just so I have everybody. Yes, it is under Cryptic Classics, and you'll see it for the Twilight Zone. So that was on September 6th. But guys, I have a really obscure. It's a Twilight Zone-esque episode, and actually they did revise it for Twilight Zone, but they cut out about 6 minutes of it. So this one's called An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge.
Oh, I remember that. Yep.
Did you see that, Chuck, from 1961?
Absolutely. That was the guy who was running in the woods. He kept running and running and running, and then he was hung at the end.
Oh my!
And, yeah, that was pretty.
He just gave up the whole shot.
Oh, there goes the episode, guys.
Oh, you didn't want to tell them, okay? Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That's just like Jackie Gleason when he tells the mother-in-law. She goes, "Oh, you're a blabber."
Yeah, that was actually a short story from the Cannes Film Festival that was very popular back at that time, and it was done by several different groups. Actually, that was a really good idea.
Yeah, so I'm going to try to find a link for the original French version, which I believe there are subtitles. It's the 28-minute version, and it's from 1961, and it's based on the short story of the same name by Ambrose Bierce.
Exactly, Ambrose.
It is, yeah. I mean, there is a little bit more to the ending than what Chuck said.
Yeah, that's jumping a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, but there is a little bit more to it, and it is it's well worth the watch. If I'm gonna try, like I said, I'm gonna try to find it's tougher to find the link for the French one.
He's still laughing.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because Chuck gave a quick cliff notes of the movie.
Yeah,
that was a quick one.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming. But it's more, it does have that twist ending, and there's more than what Chuck said. But the whole film is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd never seen the Twilight Zone one, so I don't know what they really cut from it. But I'm guessing, because most of the film is him running. I'm guessing that they cut a lot of that out of it. But I'm gonna try to find the link to the French one.
Hitchcock actually did a version of that on his I think Alfred Hitchcock Hour as well.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did the Owl Creek. Yep.
Hey,
yeah, I know several people have done it before. It's a pretty popular story, but it seems not a lot of people are aware of it, or they've never seen the original French version, which I got to see it years ago at Monster Bash. They presented it, and it was really cool to watch it on the big screen. So I'm gonna try to find the link and put it in the on the website either tonight or tomorrow. Yeah. So when people are hearing this, hopefully they could go to it, or just search in Google or wherever you search "An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge 1961" and look for any of the videos that pop up that say that's real close to 28 minutes or so. That's the one that you want to see. Anything that's less, that's around 22, 23 minutes, is the Twilight Zone version.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Eddie.
Did you find the movie The Flight That Disappeared? Did you find it on DVD? I found
that on YouTube. They have a really nice copy on YouTube.
Yeah, but they don't have the actual. If you want to get it on DVD, they don't have it.
That might be harder. I don't know if it's in one of I have 2 of those boxes of 50 sci-fi movies. I don't know if it's on there. I'll definitely check that out.
I don't think it is. I never heard of it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that movie before, but it should be on DVD.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's nice, man.
I'll have to check. It's a good place to check would be Monster Bash this October, because they have a lot of there's not only Ron Adams' Creepy Classics, but there's other dealers there that I think Fifth Dimension Films. They have a lot of obscure horror and sci-fi stuff, so we'll have to look for it, because if it is on DVD, that's definitely one I'd like to add to the collection.
Yeah, we're actually scheduling off so we can go there. Is that October 15th, Cheri?
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday, October 15th.
I am able.
Awesome.
I am able. The only thing is I'm 6.5 hours away.
Yeah.
And the problem I'm going to have, and I have to be back at work at 4 p.m. the next day. So I'm trying to figure out who can drive with me, so that either there's 2 things I'm going to do. Probably get a hotel between here and there, so that when I leave Monster Bash, I can drive at least 2 hours back to the hotel.
Right.
So that I'm closer here the next day or whatever. But if worst comes to worst, I'm probably just going to go on my own. But I'm trying to get
you could do what I did one year when all the hotel rooms were sold out, because I waited to the last minute. I just slept in my car.
Yeah, there you
I brought
go.
a pillow, a blanket. Yeah, and I slept in my car for the June when I kept the air on, and I tell you what, it was comfy, man.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm looking for not a victim. I'm sorry, a friend to drive with me.
Yeah,
a victim.
Yeah, we're definitely. I think it's going to be a blast. There's a The lobby area, it's kind of smaller than the old hotel. Everything's kind of packed in, but there's a little restaurant bar on the side where we could probably grab a table, and we'll do we could do the podcast from there. I think it'd be really cool having, kind of the background crowd. It's not noisy or anything, but you will have some people talking.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And, I think we could do it from there. We'll have to figure out, how we're going to get all of us, how many microphones we need and all that good stuff. But yeah, we could do it right from there. Have a few drinks and some appetizers. And
you know something funny, Joe? Last week when I was doing we were doing the podcast, Mike Messmer, he was in a hotel and he walks outside because he couldn't get any reception. And there comes a lady and a daughter. Yeah, Mom, you know what I had to cut out the whole section. I'm like, are you kidding?
It's funny at Monster Bash, there's a lot of people that do their different podcasts or they're recording people for interviews. So you'll see people all over the place with, their podcast stuff set up or tape recorders set up because they're getting interviews, recorded for, future podcasts or, recording interviews for articles and all that. So you'll see that all over the place.
Oh, pretty cool.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And there's some Saturday. There's some great movies playing. So if you go over to monsterbash.com, you could find the right on the right hand side. It says schedule, and it'll show you what's playing Saturday. So there's a lot of cool stuff on playing, a lot of good talks and everything, and of course the vendors and guests. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Joe. You stay all 3 days, right?
Yeah, I usually get in Friday morning. That way I can make the first event. It's kind of like my little
get away from
tradition because it starts off with an old like documentary type thing, and then it goes into some different talks and all that. So I like kind of seeing all that. It gets you in the mood. It gets you pumped up for Monster Bash, which is what I like, man. And it gets me ready for the weekend. And then I usually, depending on what the schedule and how I feel Sunday, because I usually work on about 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night there. Because I'm the type of person that I stay for the late movie, and they're usually far behind. So if their late movie says 1 o'clock on the schedule, usually it's about 2 or 2:30, and it's usually me and 2 or 3 other people watching the late movie, staying up all night. So usually about 2 or 3 hours of sleep I'll operate on. So however I feel Sunday, usually I'm out of there about 2 or 3, depending on what's playing, on the screen, what I want to see.
Yeah, Joe, have you ever gone through the thing and then by late night you're kind of like you're trying to talk and your mouth doesn't even move of how tired you are?
No, I usually have a good supply of coffee, man. I go through more coffee than anything there.
Wow.
Yeah, we get to Chiller sometimes, man, and we walk and talk and walk, and I start talking with so many different people I know there and stuff. By the time 1 o'clock in the morning comes around, you like can't see the bed, man.
Yeah.
I'm a night person, so usually how it goes there is I'm tired in the morning. I get my second wind in the afternoon. I get tired in the evening. If there's something that I'm not interested in seeing or whatever, I may go take an hour nap or something, and then I catch my second wind in the evening, and I could go all night, man. Sometimes I've even stayed up, to the sun starts coming up. You start talking to people that are still up or whatever, and then you're like, oh, I need to go to bed. I got to be up in an hour.
No, that's true.
What time do they close at night there, like the vendors?
All the vendors close around. It'll say on the schedule, all the vendors close usually about 5 or 6, and then the Creepy Classics, they stay open all night, so they have people there all night. So if you want to do some late night shopping, like I usually do, I get out of that movie. Usually, if it's a good movie around 1 or 2, that late night movie, I'll get out and grab the DVD from Creepy Classics.
Oh wow!
Make sure I had it. So
we gotta get home.
yeah, he's open all. So if you're half awake and you want to spend some money on some monster stuff, there's always room for that. But hey, guys, we got a minute and a half here, so we got to wrap it up real quick. Chuck and Cheri and Eddie, thank you guys for stopping by and telling your good stories of Florida and all that. We definitely loved hearing it, and hopefully you'll be posting that video on the House of the Unusual Forum of Robert the Haunted Doll.
And put some pictures on there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we definitely want to check that out. And guys, everybody out there in podcast land, thank you for joining us once again. We're out every week on your favorite podcast platform. So subscribe to our channel, like our podcast. If you so choose, give us a good review because that helps with all these algorithms and everything. Check us out on our flagship site, houseoftheunusual.com. Tons of cool stuff to do on there. We got videos, photos, a free form. Check that out. YouTube. Just type in House of the Unusual in the search. You'll find our site there. Subscribe to us. Check out our videos. Like them. Eddie and Chuck are always putting out some cool stuff there. And guys, we're here every week for you, just talking about whatever. If you want to be on the podcast or you'd like to hear us talk about something in particular, head over to the website on the forum and let us know, and we'll try to get that done. So, guys, that's all I got for us tonight. So, thank you once again for joining us. Very fun conversation. So, good night, everybody.
Okay, good night. God bless.
God bless, man.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great week. Bye-bye.